What's that? Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
So do I, Jim. So do I. Welcome, everybody. What's up? It is evening, night, late night for some of y'all. Color commentary. I am with you. I have a lot to say. I've been away a while, fixing myself, fixing my life, fixing the studio, but apparently not fixing the Dolphins. So we got plenty to talk about. Are the Dolphins turning the page on their star quarterback? It seems like the Miami sports media's memo book has definitely turned the page. We'll get into all that. We'll talk about it all because, as I told you all, and as I keep telling you all, our coach probably has the coldest seat in the NFL, and that's been all but confirmed with recent reports from the national talking heads. We'll also get into that and what Stephen Ross now seems to think about Tua and about Mike McDaniel and the whole situation. I'll remind you of all of the things we've said. I've got Capitan in the back waiting. He's chomping at the bit to remind you all what we've been saying for the past few seasons. And so we'll get that going. Make sure you're hitting the like button, subscribe to the channel. And if you're over on any of the other social media platforms like Kick, Twitch, Twitter, all of the rest, get over here and subscribe to YouTube, because one day, given what's been going on, there may only be one left. So get your spot now. Become part of the family today. And if you haven't already, join the membership club. Right now, all we can do is give you some emoticons and a huge thank you. And everybody knows that you're favorite around here when you're a member. So turn your avatar green like Mondo has. What's up, Mondo? Shake Money, how's it going? Shake Money, also a member. Proud member. Always love Shake. I see Nightmare in here too. John Featherland. You got Michael K as always to tell us how bad we really are. As if. And of course, Dewey. Scott Jackson. What's up, Scott? And the other Bills fan, Sean, who does sometimes have a channel, sometimes have a show. But we'll get into all that. We got so much to talk about. I'm going to get into this week's action real quick. Sum up the NFL games from yesterday. Some of you might not have watched, but we're going to run through the scores really quick. And then we're going to get into all these headlines I'm seeing all over YouTube. All pertaining to Tua, all coming from local talking heads in the local media, mainly WQAM, fantastic radio network down out of the 305. They also cover parts of Broward and can be heard up in Palm Beach County as well. Hosted in the mornings by Joe Rose, followed up by the crew in the afternoon, Hawkman, Crowder, Solana, all them boys. Check them out. They do have streaming services online for you to hear them if you are not in the great state of Florida or within their broadcasting range. So make sure you're hearing that, because Joe, he lets it fly first thing in the morning, and he ain't afraid to say nothing on his mind. He's not a paid shill for the organization, and as such, you're probably going to get a genuine take of what the average local Miami Dolphins fan is thinking. So let's run through these scores really quick. Obviously, Thursday night, we all saw our guys fall to the Bills 31-21. In yesterday's action, the Browns get a pretty decent win against the Packers, who are obviously supposed to be much better. Colts blowing out their division opponent Titans 41-20. The Vikings also blowing out the Bengals 48-10. Steelers outlasting the Patriots with Aaron Rodgers 21-14. And the Eagles as well. I believe they had a blocked field goal attempt to finish that one out. 33-26 against the Rams. Buccaneers and Jets. Buccaneers eke out a win 29-27. Baker Mayfield racking up the wins still 3-0. The Buccaneers are. Commanders, Jaden Daniels further showing that he's not dealing with a sophomore slump, defeating the Raiders 41-21 in the nation's capital. Panthers finally get a win, and a big one. Absolutely completely shutting out the Atlanta Falcons 30-0. Huge win for the Panthers. Been a long time coming for them. Speaking of sophomore slumps, the 0-3 now Texans get their third loss against their division opponent, Jacksonville Jaguars, in Duval County, 17-0. Mac Jones at the helm for the Jaguars. Chargers finishing out the Broncos yesterday, 23-20. Seahawks taking care of Big Trash in Seattle against New Orleans, 44-13. Bears defeating the hapless Cowboys, 31-14 in Chicago. 49ers defeating the Cardinals in a pretty heated division matchup, because they're in a round of division games right now. Cardinals are playing the Seahawks Thursday. And they lose to the 49ers 16-15. 49ers with their backup. I'm sorry, that was Mac Jones at the helm in San Francisco, not in Jacksonville. It was who was playing quarterback in Jacksonville? Somebody help me out. I forgot. But Mac Jones fighting for the 1-point win in San Francisco against the Cardinals. one of those subtle changes we did that flew under the radar. From Jacksonville to San Francisco. And of course, the Chiefs defeating the Giants last night handily while nobody was paying attention, 22-9. I honestly think that Russell Wilson is the league-wide owner's veto when it comes to trying to get rid of a coach, because Russell Wilson is not doing Brian Daboll any favors in helping him look like his scheme is something that can ever win football games consistently. Which, now that we're done with that and we can get on to the Dolphins, I'm going to bring El Capitan up because the situation in New York is very familiar to me, El Cap, except it seems like it's in the reverse. You know,
I guess.
You bring a guy like Russell Wilson in, and even the coach thinks the owner's doing something for him. You know what I mean? When in actuality, you saw what Russell Wilson just did with the Broncos and how he ultimately ushered in their new quarterback. I mean, last night's game, I'm looking at a Russell Wilson that it's obvious that that whether it's purposeful or not, he's taken a shave off his game. And there were plenty of times last night, as bad as the Chiefs have been playing, that the Giants could have really taken command of that game. And they just didn't. And it just seems to me, and I started to watch Brian Daboll start to get frustrated on the sideline. Haven't seen that much. And it just occurred to me that, you know, if, let's say, their owner was more into their new quarterback than he is their existing coach, then the sabotage might be going in the other way, in the other direction. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, it's interesting you say that, Color, because by all accounts, Dayball's been fighting the owner to get Jackson Dart on the field. And like, I guess the GM, there's like a whole thing going on there where Dayball wants him on the field. There's almost like
and that even feeds my point even more. Why don't you give the guy? Why don't you give the guy he wants? Why don't you let him play the guy he wants to play?
I think again, you know me, I'm a conspiratorial type of guy. I don't believe nothing because everyone says they want to do this, but I'm watching them do the exact opposite, and they're going, "Oh man, maybe if I could have done this the whole time, if you would have done what you were talking about doing or wanting to do this whole time, we wouldn't be seeing something completely opposite of that." Again, to me, this is nothing new with journeyman quarterbacks like Russell Wilson, like Andy Dalton was, like they
just
are
a big enough name and just enough accomplishments in their career to make their fan base think, yeah, we're serious about winning.
Well, it again, it's
or in the Giants case, this is what I suggest in order to make the coach think that the owner is in on him.
Maybe, but I think Dayball, again, probably people could say, oh, Dayball's kind of riding on thin ice there. I think he's bought himself 2 years with Jackson Dart as the quarterback. He's also buying all the goodwill by saying, I want to use Jackson Dart, but we're using Russell Wilson.
I get it, but at the same time, he's not putting together wins like Mike McDaniel is.
But
even though we want more, you can argue that our seasons have been at least mediocre because of Mike McDaniel. You know what I mean?
I would say yes, but here's the thing, right? These journeyman, recognizable name quarterbacks get brought into teams. And I hate to use this term, but it's the exact term. They're the whipping boys. Okay. Now, for anyone who doesn't know what the term whipping boy is, the Royals, rather than beat their own children, they had a kid that they would bring in to discipline their child with by beating them.
Right. And or also when they were meeting with each other, like when one king would meet with another king, they might get frustrated with that king, but because they're brothers and they're nobles, they can't slap each other. So he'll bring the whipping boy over and slap him.
That's
because
right.
he wants to slap the guy he's negotiating with.
Exactly. So these journeyman recognizable name quarterback whipping boys have been a thing in the NFL for a long time. And they've done two things, right? One, they're there in a tank year to put fodder, and sometimes there's lightning in a bottle. And really what's funny is they'll handcuff these coaches, and this is where you're going with it. They'll handcuff these coaches with these whipping boy quarterbacks to essentially give them every reason to fire them.
Right.
But
Oh,
every
we
now
not
and
only that,
again,
but we should be able to win games while we're waiting on Dart.
yes,
You know what I mean?
but
And if
every
we
now
can't
and
win
again,
games with Russell Wilson, then is that the coach we want going forward with Jackson Dart?
well, every now and again, like a Brian Flores and a Ryan Fitzpatrick, they'll capture a little bit of lightning in a bottle, and
Right.
then they'll have a little something, right? And the fans are buying in. Or there's plenty of other times where they put you with this guy, and he's just completely
And when it comes
ass.
to accidentally winning 5 games, you're not going to get that when you look at the situation in New York. You know, they looked at Russell Wilson and they said he did a very good job of not accidentally winning 5 games in Denver.
Exactly. Real quick, everybody hit the like button. Make sure you guys are getting those likes. I see a lot of people in here. I think there was a comment, something
Yeah,
star or
I
color.
got to get back to a couple shout outs
But
because a lot more people are flooding in and
well, yeah, before you do,
saying hi.
to stick into this point right here, uh, sometimes they get a premium. And it's funny, right? Look right now with the Atlanta Falcons. They paid $100 million or whatever it was to get Kirk Cousins there. Kirk Cousins settled the waters. There was a 50-50. They put in Penix last year. Penix now sucking. They bench him, bring back Kirk Cousins to then get eviscerated yesterday by whatchamacallit.
Right, right.
And you know what that does? These guys, these quote unquote whipping boys, are there to take the lumps for these young quarterbacks. Now you can say it's a
Right. And
teachable moment.
with Kirk Cousins, we saw how he came out and kind of complained that they got him and then immediately drafted Penix, right?
Yeah,
Well, how are you
he
going
was
to
paid
well,
handsomely.
what's a good this is a sly little way here to convince the fans that hey, we're serious about winning with Kirk Cousins. Look, he's actually pissed that we drafted another quarterback, which means he has the will to win.
Mm.
So you can't even trust, not saying he did this, but you can't even trust Kirk Cousins' motives when he comes out and complains about having a guy drafted
Well,
after
how
they
could you?
just signed him.
How could you? I mean, he can, and this, that, and the
As an
third.
Atlanta fan, I'm liking that. I'm like, oh, that means Kirk really wants to prove himself and
Yeah, oh,
win.
Kurt
You know
thinks
what I
we
mean?
really got a good team. Atlanta fans, if they're not dumb as hell, they knew they didn't have a team before they got Kurt. They knew Kurt wasn't going to the guy to take him over. And anyone who had half a brain cell would say they brought Kurt in to let the kid slow cook. They brought the kid in a little early. They're
Oh, we
going back
fell
to the
for it
slow
too,
cook.
bro. We fell for it too with guys like Teddy Bridgewater because I'm sitting there watching
Absolutely.
Teddy go to the NFC Championship game with Minnesota. All of a sudden, he can't get out of his own way.
Again, it's common that they do this, right? They bring in fodder for the fans, but they also do it so when these offenses are struggling or when they know that, it's going to take time with these young quarterbacks, they buy them more time. So the Russell Wilsons of the world, yeah, he might have a game where he looks like old fucking Russ. He's out there cooking, let Russ cook.
Mm-hmm,
But then he
mm-hmm.
looks like the guy that's, in an offense that has a
Right.
bad O line or a bad
Well,
run game or what
to your
have you.
point, Cap. Take for instance last night the commentators, Chris. God, I don't know why I don't mute him, dude. But he's talking
I
about
hate that
Russell
guy.
Wilson's long ball and how his deep ball game is the best in history and blah blah blah. And if he can just start that, it's really on then. And right after he's talking about if Russell Wilson just could get his deep ball going back the way he used to, right after that, Malik Neighbors goes down with an injury.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, because Chris said something about if he could just get get the set of wide receivers he needs to accomplish that, i.e., the Tyler Lockett, Doug Baldwin types, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then he can get his deep ball going on again. Not 2 plays after Collinsworth said that, Malik Neighbors goes down. I'm like, well, because that takes the deep ball away. Like, it's so obvious, dude. And Dable's over on the sideline pulling his hair out the whole game.
Yeah, exactly. And, it's just, I see this show every
and to
year.
be honest with you, they're whooping the Chiefs' ass up and down the field the whole night, and they're just not scoring.
So, and like other teams take a different approach, right? Other teams go, listen, let's throw this kid out there to the fire and let's see what happens to him. And that's like what the Patriots did last year with Drake May. They kind of slow rolled him a little bit too. Remember, he didn't start the year either, but they threw him out there. They kept it super limited. They let him run around. But, here they are again, leaving him out there, and you're seeing him get brutalized this year. Brutalized.
Yep.
I mean, he had a big hit. But I'm here for it, right? Okay, you got this young quarterback. You want to, let him slow cook. B, maybe, damn, why did you do that, guy? Fucking idiot. Uh, you know, let them kind of, learn the system, learn the player, whatever it is you want to say. But also, while the team is quote unquote struggling, you're not there learning while everyone else is struggling, and now it's just exacerbated, and you're just taking an absolute fucking thrashing out there as a
Right.
young guy. Now you're head. Well, because there is something to say, hey, that's not good for their psyche. You could spin them out of control. You could break quarterbacks, like they like to say. Oh, excuse me. But
So
uh,
that
but yeah,
so
they break quarterbacks, like they say, and then also there is people who subscribe that, hey, let's throw this kid out there to see if they can swim. Let's see what they do. And I'm a part of the latter. It all goes case by case.
I am
Like to
too, but
me,
you have to be able to pull him back to the bench without making it about being benched. Kind of like they did in Carolina with Bryce Young. Now, obviously, it doesn't seem to have made a difference, but the point is they benched him with the intention of benching him to make him to slap him in the face, to make him better, not to get rid of him.
well, it's funny you should say Bryce Young, because what they do, they brought in
30-0
Andy Dalton.
yesterday against
They
the
brought in
Falcons.
Andy Dalton there. And they had Andy Dalton out there. And then,
Mm-hmm.
Andy Dalton comes in and has a fucking game. And then the next game, he throws for like 112
Right.
yards and 3 interceptions. Again, it, it's this cat and mouse game with these quarterbacks and these young guys, and like the transfer of guard and how the game is played and all
Could
this
it
other
be what we
dumbass
always
shit.
talk about, Cap? These guys are humans, and you have to treat each one of them on a case by case basis. That what Kansas City did with Mahomes may not work with another guy or in another
I mean,
town.
yeah, you can't say that. And then there's also, don't read too fucking deep into it. Like Zach Wilson, right? Zach Wilson's a guy that when he's uninhibited and just fucking wheeling and dealing out there, he looks pretty decent. But if you're gonna ask him to go through practice, put together a game plan, and execute it, you're gonna fail. He can't do it. And it's been proven time and time again. I know we haven't seen that yet, but that's who he is, people. That's who Zach
So,
Wilson is.
so the phrase of the night: turn the page. Now, to turn the page to the Dolphins and how talking about this whole Giants thing in the game last night applies to what we're getting at here. We spent the better part of, obviously it's longer than that. It's been the whole offseason. Okay, but as far as the week leading up to the Buffalo game, the 4 days leading up to the Buffalo game, and after the losses against the Colts and the loss against the Patriots, the local media, the national media, the fans, everybody has had no problem. I mean, absolutely just piling on the idea that Mike McDaniel is on the hot seat, that Mike McDaniel was coaching for his job Thursday night. That, and even after the game, we hear right away, oh, from Tua himself, the problems from the coaching staff, the the problems with
Oh yeah, after week 2,
Tyreek
Tua threw him
running
right
too
under the bus.
far, and
Tua threw everybody under
and
the bus, and then
and I
aligned
can't,
Waddle.
and McDaniel trying to help Tua by saying, "Hey, you can't avoid an interception with somebody in your face or some crap like that."
I don't know. He speaks in these
And
dumbass truisms,
we've been
bro.
waiting since Thursday night. We've been sitting here waiting with bated breath to find out, when is Mike McDaniel going to be fired? Not if. When is it going to be? Is it going to be after? Is it going to be during the bye? Is it going to be when you've got enough time to get a new coach in there? And all this, that, and the other. Same with Greer. Will it be at the end of the season, or will he go ahead and do it now? Oh, blah,
Culler,
blah, blah.
before week 2 game, they flew the banner over the stadium. Fire
Right,
McDaniel, fire Greer.
right. Oh yeah. Let's not forget about the banner they commissioned.
All off season, it was Mike McDaniel, Greer, Mike McDaniel, Greer. Tua was a fucking faint whisper everywhere but
Yeah,
where we are,
yeah.
everywhere but us. We were like, listen, yeah, Mike McDaniel might have his faults, and you want to say, I don't trust him as a leader. But if you're telling me he's not designing good plays and calling decent plays, and Tua isn't executing, then I don't know what to tell you. If you
So
want to say he can't lead the locker room, fine, but don't tell me he's doing his job wrong when it comes to what Tua's failing at.
So Cap, really quick, all of this, why this was going on for the last week, I've been reminding everybody what my position has been. I've never taken any other position. And I think I said something to the effect last week of, as long as the national media is telling everybody what Ross is going to do, he's literally going to not do that, because billionaires don't like to make it feel like they're being controlled, or that their decisions are being made by other people. So when it came out, this news report here that was retweeted by the Finstones, shout out to the Finstones. They're all a great group of guys, big time fans, holding it down at the Rock all the time.
Yeah, I've hung out with him a couple times. He came to that Southwest Florida fan club beach fest one summer, and I got to hang out and kick with him.
So they had retweeted the report from it says here, Scott Polasek. The Dolphins' Stephen Ross reportedly likes Mike McDaniel, will be patient amid hot seat rumors. And so I just said, hey, like I said, ice. And there's my tweet. You can see it. What day was that? September 21st. That was yesterday. Like I said, ice. So now, juxtaposed to what we were just talking about with the Giants, today I open up my YouTube and I see several videos uploaded by the boys over at WQAM 104.3 FM in South Florida. And I'm just going to read to you the headlines. I'm not going to play them because, I don't want to deal with all the copyright stuff and all that. You can listen to them yourself. Go check out their YouTube channel. But I want to read to you the 1, 2, 3, 4 headlines that came across the YouTube feed today. Different videos uploaded over the past couple days since the Buffalo loss. Joe Rose, quote, let's stop making excuses for Tua. Tua Tagovailoa limitations are holding the Dolphins back. Another headline reads, something is off with Tua Tagovailoa. And then further, another headline, and this is actually the whole crew, Solana, Hockman, Crowder, the other guy, their producer guy. Impossible to deny the harsh truth about Tua Tagovailoa. And I'm just thinking, wow, that's kind of different from last week. Can anybody in the audience tell me how that's different from last week? Cap, don't let him bother. Go ahead and tell us what the audience is going to say. Oh, we lost Cap. I had the screen off. Can anybody in the audience tell us how that's different from last week? Oh, I see. So, and thank you, Lewis. What's up, Lou? Lou says he won't be fired. Stephen Ross saw that the issue is Tua. Well, that's a perfectly logical conclusion to make. Because Stephen Ross, and I'm going to go ahead and give you all my little, you can see it patronizing, however you want. Let me explain to you all something that I've explained to you 1,000 times. When we all get in our feelings about what we think we know the Dolphins are going to do, should do, whatever. Stephen Ross is a billionaire. Do any of you in the audience know what it takes to become and maintain billionaire status? I'm going to go ahead and answer no. Because if you did, you wouldn't be in my chat right now. You'd be millionaires, you'd be billionaires, and you'd be on a helicopter somewhere. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that nobody in this audience knows what it takes to become a billionaire and maintain billionaire status. I'll tell you what it takes. It takes logic. First and foremost, it takes logic. There is nothing else that governs Stephen Ross's decisions but logic. The reason I know this is because if it wasn't the only thing he based his decisions on, he would not be a billionaire. And so when I tell you guys over and over and over again for the last couple seasons that this whole Mike McDaniel thing and Tua thing, the 700 plays, all of that was effectively a second opinion. It was to say, there's been some problems. I'm not going to bother trying to decide who was at fault. I'm going to get another coach. It's easier to keep the quarterback. And we're going to find out what we have. Now, because of the media talking heads, because of the non-football knowers out there that just keep piling on Mike McDaniel every single time Tua fucks up, there is absolutely no way on this earth that Stephen Ross can make a logical determination as to what and who the problem is with his toy. I think the reports of Stephen Ross liking McDaniel tell me that he has not been able to finish making his evaluation because just like the rest of us, I don't care who you think you are, none of us can know what Mike McDaniel is or is not. We can see that he makes mistakes. Everybody does. We can see flashes of brilliance. Everybody does. We have some people saying everything's his fault. Can't call a play. Can't design a system. The other side says, oh, well, he's hamstrung and constrained by Tua, and his system can only be built a certain way. Now, if Ross believes that, or is unsure about that, then how is he supposed to know what Mike McDaniel could possibly design or how his designs are supposed to work when you've got a guy that has obvious physical limitations to play in this league? Limitations that could be overcome. We know how they can be overcome. We know what it takes to have the slim chance of overcoming your quarterback's limitations. And thus far, we have not been able to do that in 5 seasons and 3 games. So it doesn't matter. There was one person in this entire fan base across all YouTube that has maintained the same thought process this entire time. From the day Mike McDaniel, from the week before Mike McDaniel was hired, there's only one person that has consistently said, enough is enough with the coaching carousel. I don't care if he's the worst coach in the history of the NFL. You need to take 10 years to find that out, to make that determination. Because players come and go. Good players come and go. Good players come in, they don't perform, and then they go. Bad players come in, they perform, and then they go. Nobody knows what a coach is after 3 years. Nobody. You can say that you're impatient, that you don't care, that you didn't see certain things you want to see in 3 years. Fine. But nobody can say they know what a coach is after 3 years, one quarterback that's been thrust upon him, and an owner that wants things done a certain way. And so Stephen Ross is sitting there going, I've seen enough. Does he need to see 6 more years? No. Does he need to hear, well, if not for that interception, we were doing pretty good? No. Does he want to say, hey, let's rebuild this whole thing because Tua sucks? No. He's saying, logically speaking, just like you can't know what's outside the universe, you can't know what Mike McDaniel is. If you say you do, you're fooling yourself. You're lying to yourself. My 10-year contract thing was hyperbole, but it was meant to make a point. 3 years is not enough. 5 years with an inferior quarterback is not enough. And I think we're starting to find out that Stephen Ross agrees. So, as I keep telling y'all, Mike McDaniel's not going anywhere. Not this week, not next week, maybe not even after this year. Because guess what? As bad as it's been with Tua, as many games as he's missed, as many important moments that he's literally just missed, Stephen Ross is pleased with what Mike McDaniel's been able to accomplish despite all that. Despite Stephen Ross saying, I want you to work with him, and you have to take the risk that I'm going to hold you responsible or not. And Mike McDaniel did it. And Mike McDaniel has done it with a smile on his face for the past 3 seasons. And every time Ross said, just keep going with him, try to do something, please, for me, McDaniel did it. And now you think Stephen Ross is going to say anything but, I like the guy? Maybe Stephen Ross figured out that the guy he wants to give a long-term chance to has to be somebody he likes.
Well, we know that's true.
Well, why wouldn't it be, Cap? Would you hire somebody you don't like for 10 years?
No. Well, I would. Again, what do I like?
Well, Jerry Jones did that. it got them one Super Bowl. Well, it got them more than one, but it only got them one with that particular coach.
No, it got him 2, and
Oh,
it got
right,
him
right. And
1
then
with somebody
Switzer came.
else.
Right. But
Yeah,
you get what
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying. Where are
yeah.
they now?
Again, I would rather be in a situation where
As
I'm working
opposed
with
to where the
someone that
Steelers are now, since the last time Dallas won a Super Bowl, I think the Steelers might have already had Mike Tomlin.
no, they didn't. They won
Pretty
one
dang
with
close, though.
no, right after they got rid of that Cower won one, and then Tomlin won one. The
Right.
Steelers have won
But
2 with 2 different
you get
coaches
my
since
point,
then.
though. You get my
No,
point, though.
I get your
The
point.
Steelers
My
have been
point.
rocking the same guys since just about the last time that Dallas won.
Pretty close.
We could at least
Uh,
say the last time Dallas was competitive.
I don't know. I think Dallas won their last one. What was it? 97.
Well, they've been the last time they were truly competitive was probably about
And then I
7
think,
seasons ago. You know what I mean?
well, whatever. Again, I have a problem. I don't want to say I have a problem. I wonder this, right? With the Mike McDaniel thing you're talking about. There is this story that we all know that Mike McDaniel went around Chris Greer to pound on the table for Tagovailoa to get paid. Now, is there some form of forgiveness with that? Because I think effectively with that story, whether it's true or not, that's the story everyone knows.
No. I think that Stephen Ross is a generous human being. And despite him being off of Tua's abilities, I don't think he dislikes Tua. And I don't think he wants to see ill will towards him. And so if you're able to set him up with a nice little chunk and you're able to smooth it over with the fan base and take the hit because everybody made the mistake, the collective made the mistake of bringing Tua in the building, then that very well could have been all part of the same thing, dude. Like, hey, go out there and make it look like you caped up for him. In other words,
Well,
that's that's falling on another sword for Ross. That's why Ross likes McDaniel.
I would say that I'm again, right? Like there's a heavy assumption here that the collective, aka Chris Greer, has
Real quick, Cap.
distanced himself with the.
Sorry to interrupt, but I got to make this point further by saying that remember, Ross said that the quarterback decision was the next head coach's decision, right? And then we all know he forced Tua onto him. Well,
No,
Mike
the only
McDaniel
reason he
played
got
the part.
hired.
What I'm saying is Mike McDaniel played the part and came out and actually acted like it was his want to go roll with Tua. You see what I'm saying? So there's the first time McDaniel fell on the sword for Ross.
Yes, but I mean, again, everybody knew that Mike McDaniel only got the job because Ross or the collective or whomever wanted the coach that was going to co-sign that whole fucking
but if
thing.
that was
And
if
yes,
that
you
was
can
known
say
to be a fact,
is metaphorical.
I got it.
You
But
can say that's the metaphorical sword.
If that was proven to be a fact, then that would make Stephen Ross look highly cynical, bro. And so that's what I'm saying. McDaniel embraced it and acted the part. Like, yes, I'm here to blah, blah, blah. And they told me I don't have to have Tua. I want him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. So again, I agree with that.
And then when he caped up for his extension, it was they want to trade him. But I want to roll with him. And you're saying, is there forgiveness there? No, I think that was ordered. I think that was another, hey, can you fall on the sword for us again?
I guess you could. I mean, yeah, if that's your take on it, but I would say the collective has created what I would call damage control.
Because Chris Greer can now say, hey, it's not my fault we kept rolling with Tua. I wanted to trade him, but I got to do what the coach wants to do.
Yes, and that gives distance, which in the all off season with the mainstream media and the local media and the YouTube channels and everything, everyone was piling on. And then week one, it wasn't so much.
What's the one reason that most fans give as to why Greer wouldn't move off of Tua? What's the one reason? His reputation as a a
all the way,
selector of quarterbacks in the draft.
all the way until Tua got paid. That's a fact. Everything was done up to that point.
Right. And so now Greer can say, I'm not the one that caped up for him. I tried to get him out of the building. But
Again,
we got to do
this.
it's my job to do what
So
the coach
Culler,
wants to do.
let me get this through then. Mike McDaniel, with the changing of tide, because Mike McDaniel was under fire. Let's call it for what it is. Not so much week one, right? Because week one, Tua played so poorly that everyone was like, "Oh, Mike McDaniel's bad, Tua's bad, Greer's bad, everybody's bad, fuck them all," right? And then week two, they kind of went more harder on Mike McDaniel, looking for a shoe to drop, especially in the mainstream media. Now, with this third week coming and going on Thursday, and Mike McDaniel coming out on the other side, now it looks like the spotlight's on Tua, where it should have been the whole time. Has Mike McDaniel fully metamorphosed himself as a cemented cornerstone of the Dolphins collective?
100%, dude. That's what I'm trying to say. That's exactly what I'm trying to say.
He has now gone through the entire.
He's made it. He's in the inner circle, bro.
He came out on the other side, and now he's on the inner circle. Wow!
And by the way, I hate to say it, but this might have been going on since last year for the fact that. And I'm just gonna look. I'm not making any groundbreaking conspiracy hypothesis here. Okay, I'm not the first one that's ever made this crazy hypothesis. Okay, no. I'm not the only one, but
let's hear it.
It's kind of odd that in the first game or whatever, we see a complete free rusher to slam Tua in the back, just like Jesse Davis giving up a block to get Tua injured. Hey, I'm not the only one that's made that crazy hypothesis, bro.
There is. He ain't the only one. There was people coming out that Mike McDaniel is sabotaging too.
Yeah. His signal is in the sky right now. Hit
the like button, everybody, because again, that's where people say we do a lot of conspiracy over here, but we just address the conspiracy because here it is. It's
right. Well, that's what I'm going to say. I don't believe that in the slightest. Nobody would do that to somebody else, nor would Brian Flores. But if people are going to make that, hypothesis, well, it certainly does correlate with what Cap and I are talking about. What's the easiest way to get rid of the problem?
Do the dance, baby.
Well, what have we all said about Tua? One more injury, and it's over. The entire career.
One more head injury.
Well, one
more head injury or hip injury.
The haters could spin it as one injury. You know what I mean? Like if you miss any more important games.
If it's a popped Achilles, I guess so, right? That's a fucking season-ending. Season-ending injury,
bro. He doesn't have any grace for any injury, for any missed time left, bro.
Yeah, I guess you're right. He's burnt up everything.
Not after they spent the whole entire offseason lambasting Tyreek Hill for taking himself off the field.
Well, again, look at Tyreek Hill not being the problem anymore. I hear everybody defended Tyreek Hill, which is crazy to think because I remember at the end of the season and all offseason, it was only you and I and a few other in the community, especially the tailgate, defending.
He got it. He got a glove. He got a shred of his glove on the ball. He needs to make the catch, bro. No, sorry.
Listen, I want him to make that catch, but again, I only want him to make that catch, Culler, because I know he could have. But I know again,
see, that's different, and that's different. That's no different than what I was trying to tell Ali about the defense. We can have that discussion independently as a discussion about wide receivers and what makes them Hall of Fame level.
Yeah, and I think he could have, but again, there is times where he misses those too. But that I've seen him make those great catches.
No quarterback in this league should be able to expect that a guy makes a Hall of Fame catch.
That's the thing. And Tua literally said so. He literally said so when he was talking about how he needs to teach Tyreek. Teaching is that he says, listen.
Bro, if quarterbacks could expect that in the league, then why do we draft them so high?
Again, He literally
Why don't
said,
we just draft wide receivers number one?
he literally said, even if you're covered, I'm throwing you the ball. You got to make a play on the ball. And that's like bail me out, and that's what I expect of you.
You're
And
telling a
that's
5'7" wide receiver that he needs to be a 50-50 guy?
and
Wow.
fine. And listen, fine. Tyreek Hill with his fucking 10.5 foot vert, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the hell he's jumping, he can be that guy. But the expectations of Tua, and then the absolute
The problem
brazenness
with
of
that
him
theory,
to
Cap, the
demand it, to
problem with that
demand it.
theory, the problem with that theory is those defensive backs are also can jump that kind of vertical, except they've got 4-inch longer arms.
Well, again, Color, I don't want to sit here and tit for tat on why it can't. The reality is this:
The reality
Tyreek
is we
Hill.
shouldn't have to.
No, the reality of it is that having to and listen, if it's a quarterback where I need my wide receiver to bail me out every now and again, it's fine. That's not what Tua's asking for. What Tua's asking for is that I need you to bail me out every time, and you
Right,
need to train your way that way. And
right,
that was his
right.
expectations of
I'm
it.
literally
His
going
ex
to use the defense as a target to know where to throw the ball to. You're going to have to
again,
come up with it.
if I'm looking to make this play for whatever reason and you're in double coverage, or if you got a guy right on you and you got a safety coming down, if I get to you, you got to make a play on the ball. You need to look. You need to either come upfield, come back downfield, whatever. And it's that's kind of his expectation. And that was overall what he said. And that's where it becomes unfair. Like, okay, I get it. It's Tyreek Hill. You expect him to do a million things, but you want him to do everything every time. And if he doesn't come through on your wild duck throw, off target, 10 foot in the air fucking
Oh,
pass, that's on him. And that's what
speaking
he's
of
saying.
ducks,
That's what Tua's saying. Tua is saying that him missing that football is on him
right?
because he's supposed to bail me out. And that's bullshit.
Speaking of ducks, along with all those headlines I just read from WQAM, one of those particular shows, Joe Rose literally used the word ducks to describe Tua's deep ball.
Oh yeah, they're ducks. They've always been ducks. Let's call it for what it is. He's good, and inside that 20 yards, he can put some heat on it. Well, he used to. He not anymore. Again, and Mike McDaniel. Here's what I noticed from week 1 and week 2. Week 1 and week 2 was some good play calls and some good first reads that were called, but there was also first, second, third reads, and then the next progression in the route tree on some plays. Now, sometimes, and I will agree, some of the wide receivers just fell apart on the plays when Tua bought time in the pocket. That happened a lot, but more so in the first game than the second game. Tua couldn't one if the first read isn't there, he had nothing. He completely lost it and starts to scramble. And that happened again in the third week as well. The problem of this is that this is where the offensive progression is going in this offense, and Tua can't do it. So what I said should happen, if Mike McDaniel was smart, he would do this, and that's what he did. Week 3, he'll go back to Old Faithful. He'll do all the shit that Tua does best, throwing it side to side, at the line of scrimmage, behind the line of scrimmage, whatever. And he got more completions, and the offense looked a hell of a lot better against Buffalo, but it was still too little because, I mean, that shit can only take you so far.
Bro, it
Do
ended
you
exactly how every single Buffalo game has ended since Tua's been here, bro.
Yeah, him not being able to get it done, and then
Not enough
Buffalo.
on offense, bro. Oh, by the way, did you notice we put a goose egg up in the third?
Mhm.
They didn't.
Now, what's kind of crazy here is that Tua, his average yards per pass, air yards per pass this season. Now it's only for the first 3 weeks, but Tua's average air yards per pass completion is 0.5 yards. 0.5 yards. Or no, excuse me, negative 0.5
So
yards.
when I talk about standing there with a bucket in front of you, dropping quarters into it, it's the bucket's literally behind him.
That's right. It's
Wow.
parallel to him. It's parallel to him. His average yard
But I
per
bet you,
air yard per
I
pass.
bet you his accuracy is 89%.
Well, I mean, Color, if you can't throw 8 yards away from you, that's 8 yards as the crow flies away from you and be super accurate, then, I mean, what are we doing?
I mean, I can't believe this guy is talking this way about the most accurate quarterback in the history of the NFL, man. I just can't believe you, bro.
Well, I mean, listen, if you wanted me to only throw, I am not a quarterback. My hands ain't big enough. Like I don't have that wide, those long fingers like that. I'm I just not, I'm not a fucking thrower of the football. I'm a fucking punch the football out, put a hat on it, defense guy, running back type. I ain't even that great at fucking catching the ball, and I ain't afraid to say it. I don't have soft hands like that. I got stone hands. But I promise you, I could hit 80% within 10 yards around me. I don't give a shit what you got. Yeah, I'll hit 80% with a golf ball around
Bro,
me and that. I'll
them
do
people
ping
that do
pong
the,
ball.
like the Dr. Pepper challenge, like people win it,
Yes,
know?
bro, I would smoke that shit. Are you kidding me? I'm a fucking
Right, right.
athlete. I got hand-eye
And
coordination and
they're
I'm an
usually
athlete. I
throwing
promise you.
underhanded and shit.
Bro, I'll throw every one of them underhand. I'll throw them with my left. I'll throw them, I'll fucking shoot them
You
like a
notice when money's
basketball.
on the line, everybody shoots the football like a basketball. You notice that in the Dr. Pepper challenge? It's like when the
Yeah, I'll
money's
do
on the
whatever.
line, get it in the hole. It don't have to look good.
No, exactly. I'll fucking underhand spin them right in. Thunk, thunk, thunk. Again, that's duh. By that
Well,
fucking
that was Dan
distance.
Marino's moniker. I mean, when the money's on the line, get it in the hole. It don't matter what it looked like. You know how many just awesome freaking hard thrown passes that were gorgeous touchdowns that
Well,
Dan
Color,
Marino threw that if you put them on slow motion, they're complete ducks, dude.
Color, we saw fucking Josh Allen throw 3 passes that last game, all like pitched him out like a fucking volleyball throw or some shit.
Right. Well,
Like,
and I'm even meaning some of the throws, like the real hard gunner throws. If you slow them down, some of them are actually ducks, but they're just perfectly ball placed. You know what I mean? Like a
again,
receiver don't give a shit about that. If the ball's where I need it to be, I don't care if it's wobbling, spiral, whatever, dude.
yeah, whatever. Get it to me, bitch. But yeah, it's it's refreshing to see WQAM and the rest of the Dolphins fan base finally catch up to what we've been preaching around here for years. What's fucking pissing me off though is now they all are saying what we've been saying for years around here, but they want to argue with me or you about what I'm saying about what's happening now or coming. And I'm like, listen, bitch, you were wrong 3 years ago. I promise you, you're wrong now. You've been wrong for 3 years on everything.
Yep.
You've been wrong
Well,
for years on everything. And now you want to tell me I'm wrong for what I'm telling you, but I've been right for 3 years? I don't understand that.
oh, and not to mention, ignore the fact that we've been saying, like, when I saw the news that Ross likes McDaniel and is going to be patient with him,
Yes, again,
like,
more of what they said we were
okay,
wrong
that
about.
wasn't even, to me, that wasn't even newsworthy because I was already of that understanding in my own head.
Again, and I'm not gonna put names on. I know a couple of the boys and they'll find it funny. But I'll pop in on spaces here and there and shit like that and stuff on Dolphins Twitter. But I can remember all off season, there was 3 hefty topics that I pushed back on so fucking much. So much. Number one being Tyreek Hill needs to be traded, get him the fuck up out of here, blah, 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 blah. He's a piece of shit. And now I can get, you don't personally like him, fine. But I was the only motherfucker in them spaces that was pushing back, saying, "Listen, y'all are dumb if you think this Dolphins team is better. Addition by subtraction. He's the only fucking guy that's probably going to wear a gold jacket one day, and this offense for Tua can do nothing without him. It's just a fact." And that was one I fucking hill I had to
Right. And
fight
who in
on.
the
Now,
building, by the way, who in the building when a Super Bowl, a multiple time Super Bowl champion is telling you this is never going to get you a championship, and you want to get him out the building?
not only that, you want to take the side of a bunch of people who ain't done fuck all, but
That's what I'm
fail at
saying.
what they say they're going to
Like
do.
threatening Tyreek to trade him from this trash organization is like threatening somebody with a bottle of wine. I mean, come on.
It's just, again, it was asinine. It bothered me, and I fought again. And then it was Mike McDaniel got to go, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, listen, I would much rather see Tua gone and this organization. I had to literally formulate this thought because I was pushing back for everyone wanting to fire Mike McDaniel. This is before the season even started. It was off-season topic on Dolphins YouTube and Twitter. They were looking to fucking sacrifice a Mike McDaniel because they knew that it was an impending doom. And I said, look, I'm not saying the guy can't lose his job, but outside of him, outside of Mike McDaniel having a full mutiny on his hands, that's where the entire players and coaches completely throw him to the wolves. I don't think they should fire him. I think they should move off Tua, let him draft a fucking quarterback, and do something different for once and see if a young first time head coach can learn from their mistakes, grow, and get it right the next time, rather than watching what we usually watch.
Right.
That guy leave, he goes back somewhere, he does
Right.
offensive coordination for a year or two, then he goes and gets it right the next time with the next Super Bowl winning fucking team. We
So
get to
Cap,
watch that shit happen all the time.
there's two types, like there's many types of horses, but on the opposite end of each spectrum, there's that horse that can't be broken, that throws everybody off his back. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Yep.
hey, Jim's gonna try to do it. Oh, good luck, Jim. You know what I mean? And then there's that horse that is the exact opposite, that literally stands there like a freaking dolt and does nothing. And nobody can ride him either, because you get on his back and he just doesn't respond to any commands. He just sits there, right? We basically have that horse that's just sitting there, and we keep hiring new cowboys to come in to try to get it to move. Like, we
Yep.
already know it's not going to move. So when you're talking about trying something different, the different thing would be get another horse. And then maybe the guy you just hired to ride it can ride it.
Yep.
I'd
Or
rather
get the horse.
see the next cowboy you hire to ride the horse. I'd rather see him try to ride a horse that actually goes.
Again, Color, and these were two heavy topics that I pushed back on. Third one being was we need to give everything we can to draft Cam Ward. I don't give a shit. I was ready to sell anyone and everyone for Cam Ward, but
I guess what I really meant was, if the horse is standing there for 5 years and doesn't move, hiring 100 more cowboys ain't going to change nothing.
No, it's not, Color. Again, I think you nailed it out of the park with the cowboy analogy. The problem of the matter is that now here everyone's seeing what we were talking about. And now they're like, oh well, and now when I have these other takes about what we should do now and what should be coming or what could be coming and we need to look to avoid. Oh, it's back to business as usual. Cap, you don't know what you're talking about. Color, you don't know what you're talking about. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, I get it. Everyone thinks they're a fucking expert at football because you guys all watch a bunch or you maybe played a little and stuff like that. But I don't know if it's just because I'm trying to look around the corner or what, but I don't understand how they're not seeing what we're seeing, even when I'm explaining it to them. And when I tell them, it makes them mad. Everybody gets mad when I tell them how it is.
Right,
It's fucking wild. They get mad about it. And,
Oh, and by the way, Mudbone, if that other team, if that other cowboy or that other owner has some cowboy at his ranch that can get that horse to move, then more power to him, because that it still wasn't going to help you, because that cowboy is employed by the other ranch. So what does it matter if another ranch can get that horse to move? They're not going to let you hire that cowboy that can do it.
Well, even then, I don't know. That other ranch has different fucking feed, different fields.
Well, my point is, though, maybe that ranch got lucky and found the one cowboy in the world that can make the horse move. But they've already hired that cowboy.
Again, fuck all that. I don't.
That's like saying, hey, Jake Elliott can drive my jalopy better than I can. So now it's more than a jalopy?
So real quick, I don't know who said it, but someone said, I think Dewey said it. They got mad at the source or something. Well, I can't see the comments, Color. What did Dewey say? Something about they got mad at the source,
not the truth. Exactly. Well, they actually get mad at both because the source is telling the truth.
No, they get mad at the truth because it breaks their delusions. That's what they get mad at. I think they do get mad at the source. Don't get me wrong. There's plenty of people that don't want to hear me tell them how it is. But I think they get more mad at the truth because it's not what they want to hear. So they don't want to hear me. And by the time they finally come to a realization of what it is I've been telling them this whole time, or Color, or the tailgate's been telling them the whole time, then it's like, oh, well, that's how it is now. When you said it 3 months ago, you couldn't have possibly known that this is where we're going to be. Well, I'm sorry that I fucking knew.
Other than, like I said, to open the show, billionaires make their billions based on using logic, and that's all we've ever done.
That's all we do. That's all we do. I use deduction of logic. I use history and patterns, and I know what I fucking know about the game. And more so than the game. That's where a lot of people get things construed, right? Because they can know the new buzz terms, the new route trees, whatever the fuck they're calling them.
I didn't learn about logic to be better than everybody else. I didn't learn about logic to look my nose down to everybody else. I learned logic so I could understand what the big players were doing to me. I mean, that's why it's like we and I don't want to make this esoteric, but everybody shuns the intellectual because of their use of logic, and they don't realize it's not to bring you down. It's to help you understand how the big players are manipulating you, because that's what they're using, logic. Anyway, Mudbone says incompetence runs rampant in Miami. A sentiment that I wholeheartedly agree with you on, Mudbone. My only contention is, until you eliminate the known incompetence, you'll never be able to identify the unknown incompetence. You see what I'm saying? We know Tua is incompetent. We don't know whether Mike McDaniel is or not. He has shown some incompetence and he has shown some competence. We can't determine whether the incompetence is a result of Tua's incompetence or the rest of the team's incompetence. Now, you could say it's incumbent upon the coach to instill competence in his players. Okay, fine. Again, they have to still receive it. And if they're not receiving it, we have to find out if there's others that can, because you just can't know what Mike McDaniel is. There's just not enough information. It's like saying 2 + question mark equals question mark. What's the answer?
Well, I would say
you don't have enough information.
Color, I would say just on what little information I do have over the last 3 years, right? And I'll measure these 3 years up against every other coach we've had during Mike McDaniel over the last umpteenth years. And he's better than Philbin. He's better than Gase. I would say, as far as getting a good staff and working with his players, and better than Brian Flores at the things that matter
To be honest with you, I really don't. I mean, last week I saw quit in the team, but I don't think they're quitting on McDaniel.
I don't think so
They're
either.
actually playing for him. I think they're quitting on the quarterback.
I think they're quitting on the quarterback. And it looks more like they're quitting on the quarterback because the quarterback's sucking the air out of the fucking football team. And listen, I'm not saying Mike McDaniel is going to be good or great, but hear me out on this, Culler. What's more likely to depreciate? I mean, if you have a young quarterback and as they're in their fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth year, how much better are quarterbacks getting in their fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth year? How much are they growing? Now, we always talk about this like, oh, their playbook gets better, the game slows down, they're a vet, they're used to those things. But those guys that are the dudes, it's really few and far between.
Well, there has been one that we know of. One.
Tom Brady?
No, Geno Smith.
Well, yes, and I guess you could say Sam
And what
Darnold
I mean is,
as well.
even by bringing that up, though, it seems like I'm giving them ammo, but I'm not, because what you're saying is you went from he's going to be just like Drew Brees to he might be like Geno Smith.
Yes. See, now you're picking up what I'm putting down, Culler. And I'm just saying across the board, year 3, year 4, like that's where they should be hitting their apex. And then hopefully you can hold that for a couple of years. But they're gonna depreciate. What can you expect to always gain is a coach from their learned experiences of trial, error, and getting what works and honing their craft. A young coach becoming an older coach is not less fucking valuable like a young quarterback getting to be an older quarterback is. If anything, older coaches with good experience are of higher value.
Yep.
And I just don't want us to sit here and spin our wheels again trying to reset all this.
Resident Chargers fan, NFL is lit, says Tua being bad really hurts evaluating literally everyone else. Spot on.
We've been saying it for years.
In the way that we let every contract run out to its end and we're forced to make some weird decision because we can't know what these guys are.
Like, I want to shit on Waddle because I want Waddle to be better, but watch Waddle go be with Matthew Stafford and he's the best wide receiver in all of football. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you. You just can't know.
You can't, and that's the heavy
Waddle's case. I can know because Waddle has played with other quarterbacks on our team who did deliver the football to him properly, and he dropped it in a big situation.
Again, we're talking about a leader. Again, a leader, a guy that Waddle can maybe even look up to. I know. There's a lot of mitigating factors when it comes with a great quarterback.
What takes Waddle out of the Hall of Fame category is his feelings. It's his feelings. It's the fact that you couldn't put aside what was going on at quarterback to keep bettering your career.
Well, but here, Culler, here's the ultimate thing. We'll never know how much greater Waddle could be because of what we know.
Considered if he'd have made one of those goddamn catches, bro.
I get you and agree to that point. I got it, and I know exactly the catches and misses you're talking about. But again, who knows? Because he's only had quarterback Tua throwing him outside of the few outliers. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like overall with the team, that's no truer statement is said. And you've said this plenty of times too, Culler, about I can't get a true evaluation on this O-line.
Sure.
I have get to be a true fair. Evaluation.
You're right. You and Nightwolf are both right. I have to be fair. He says no one's saying Waddle's a Hall of Famer, dude, just that he deserves better. I agree. Absolutely. We can't know. I can't know. Because Skylar Thompson is not Matt Stafford. You're right. You know what I mean? So, like, yeah,
but and I can
I'd
say
like to see
if you
Waddle
want to say
with a
it's
guy
safe
that
to
can
say,
actually cook. Sure.
Culler, if you want to say it's safe to say that Waddle isn't Justin Jefferson, I'm with you. Okay.
Right.
But could Waddle be Ahmad St. Brown? I don't know. I think he could. I think he could.
Could he be Drake London or what's the guy that went Christian
Doug
Kirk?
Baldwin. Could it be Doug Baldwin?
Yeah. Or even a Christian Kirk, who fell off when he went to Jacksonville, but that's beside the point.
So yeah, that's
and
that's
you know
what
what?
it is.
He still could be a Hall of Famer. Again, you guys could be right if he was, if he's cooking with a guy like Stafford or somebody, sure. And I know that shouldn't matter, but when your quarterback is as bad as Tua is and as bad as the likes of Skylar Thompson, then again, we can't know,
Again, insert any of these top 12 quarterbacks right now today, top 10 with the weapons we have, and tell me what the fuck you're getting, Culler.
Yeah, I hear you. So now we're at a spot where it's like, I mean, where do we go from here? I mean, McDaniel is obviously, I know what I was going to ask you. This report that Ross likes McDaniel and is going to be patient with him. Is that Ross delivering a message to McDaniel through the media? Like, I'm not going to fire you if you bench Tua, bro. I'm not going to fire you if you try somebody else going forward and try to build a real system around them. Not that he has to build much more, because obviously Tua ain't hitting the guys in the system McDaniel has created for him. And I'm not one of those that believes the system is exclusive to Tua. It's a West Coast system, period. It's designed to get to the point we're at right now and the quarterback to do the rest. That's what it's designed for. It's designed to get to a certain plateau where everything is the best it can be for that particular list of players. It's the best it can be. The rest is up to the quarterback. It's a platform for the quarterback to cook off of. And when it comes down to the point where it's time for Tua to cook, we see throwaways, we see interceptions, we see happy feet, we see taking our eyes from downfield, we see injuries. That's just what we've seen. Sorry. We see missed receivers. We see guys open all over, options all over the place that are not taken. And this has been going on for 5 seasons. I'm sorry. You don't have to be a football guy if you're Stephen Ross to know that your quarterback is not good enough. We have millions of NFL fans. Some of them are kids. Some of them are old men that can't even see. Some of them are alcoholics that are drunk all the time. Some of them are old women. Some of them are all kinds of people that have never even stepped foot on a football field. And every one of them can see it too. So why wouldn't Ross be able to see it even if he wasn't a football guy? Which I'm pretty sure Ross is enough of a fan of football to understand more than the basics. You don't buy a football team if you're not at least a fan enough to understand more than the basics. And even an understanding of just more than the basics would tell you that Tua is not good enough.
Hit the like button, everybody. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button.
I've maintained that for 5 seasons in 3 games.
He just doesn't have enough tools, Culler.
Given what we saw yesterday with a lot of these teams that were supposed to be taking the next step, I hate to say it, but if McDaniel were to take that message from Ross as you can switch quarterbacks if you want, maybe we do have hope on the rest of this season, because I'm telling you right now, the Kansas City Chiefs are absolute garbage. Absolute garbage. Defense, wide receivers, just garbage. Their tight end
Everybody
can't freaking get open
slow.
anymore for some reason.
Slow. He looks slow as hell. They look nothing.
And
But
if not
they're
for the the alleged purposeful sabotage going on in New York, I don't think the Chiefs would have won that game last night. I know the score 22-6 or 22-9 or whatever. I get it. Looks the part. Well, anybody watching that game last night should not be in fear of Kansas City beyond what we know the capability of Patrick Mahomes to be. Other than that, KC's trash, just straight trash.
Yeah, but we do know KC they address things as the year goes on.
I'm not saying that's the point I'm trying to make. Given all of that, teams like Buffalo and Baltimore need to strike while the iron's hot, because it ain't going to last for long.
No, it's not. They're going to get things corrected.
And that's why there ain't a single fan in Kansas City panicking last night at 0-2. Not a single one.
Yeah, and it's a again,
they're still making references to Taylor Swift in another team's stadium, bro. Oh, it's gross, man. Oh, is she here tonight? My God, man. And her little boy toy can't even make a freaking reception all night. Yeah, throw your helmet around a little more, Kelsey. That'll freaking help. Oh, you mean they don't believe your lazy way of route running anymore, so they stick to you like glue? Is that what it is? Oh, they're catching up to you, Kelsey? Oh, I get it. You're just a tight end who had a great quarterback to know how to get it to him. Believe it or not, actually, last night, I couldn't tell. I think is Noah Fant their other tight end? That dude, I couldn't tell it. I thought Kelsey was getting the ball all night. It was Fant. Did you know Fant was their leading red zone scorer on the team? I mean, I don't know. I saw a lot of bad football yesterday, man, and it just, oh God, you know how it is, Cap. You saw the text message I sent earlier. You know what I mean? Like, are we back?
I don't know, man.
I mean, we get another quarterback, we might actually have a shot, bro. Get a win against the Jets, you know.
No.
Next thing you know, we're 1-3 and playing good.
Again, to me, we need a new quarterback. So what's it all for? You're gonna
half the audience is laughing their ass off at me right now for what I just said. Should tell you what the general consensus thinks about our quarterback.
Yeah, obviously, and we're gonna need a new quarterback now. Let's get it. Let's play a little bit of what if, right? So the Dolphins now, right now the Ravens, or not the Ravens, excuse me, the Falcons look terrible. The Jets look like they're reeling. They'll be at the top of the draft next year.
Yeah, Jets came out like they were trying to play their Super Bowl the first week, and now they're just same garbage we expected them to be.
Yeah, and then also the whatchamacallit, the Saints. The Saints are in full tank. And the Raiders as well. These are the teams that are going to be at the top of the draft.
Yeah, the Saints, I mean, the Patriots, on the other hand, they're in Cam Cameron mode. They're in, we're playing close every single game, but not getting any wins. That's their mantra this
But they're
year.
not going to be drafting a quarterback. That's kind of where I'm getting at. Uh, to me, the Dolphins, to bring in true change, because whether the coach is here or not, whether the GM is here or not, whether whatever else happens with the people who run things, this team isn't going to go anywhere with Tua as the quarterback. And that's the hard reality that a lot of Dolphins fans and media people and everything are going to start figuring out for themselves a little bit more as they're finally catching up to us here at the Fins tailgate, only 3 years behind the 8 ball color. So,
By the way, the evidence is mounting that everybody was totally being casual about Dan Jones. Number one, we saw how the Giants performed last night with Russell Wilson. You're going to put that on Daniel Jones? I think it looked better in New York with Daniel Jones, to be honest with you.
and 50-50.
Secondly, we all talk about, oh, that was a divisional game. That's why it was so close, and that's why it looks tough, even though one of the teams is really bad, and this and that and the other. We always say that. The Colts put up a 40 burger on their division opponent yesterday.
Oh yeah,
the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
Can we stop with the Daniel Jones is just inherently trash bullshit now? Can we stop with that and at least pause and start our reevaluation of Daniel Jones now? Can we do that? Is it going to get everybody in their feels if I stop calling Daniel Jones trash? Is that going to hurt people's feelings?
I mean, Culler, I got to be honest. I still don't think Daniel Jones is one of those fucking
fair
guys.
Fair enough. But can we at least get back to the point of we don't know anymore?
Yeah, I would say with new data, he's more of a I don't know what he can be. But I always said Daniel Jones.
So far is being what the Giants thought they had drafted.
I would say always, like I've said when I talked about Daniel Jones, he is a more mobile Matt Ryan. I've always said that. He is a more mobile Matt Ryan. Now, what you can do with that, I don't know. Matt Ryan made it to the damn Super Bowl. If he was more mobile, he might have won it. Can they do that? Maybe.
Like Joe Riss is saying, if it's not Daniel Jones, that's a hell of an offense. You mean Joe, and not to say that I'm not trying to challenge your point, Joe. I'm trying to further it. You mean the same offense that Crowder said yesterday he thought we were going to have no problem with?
I got to be honest.
Crowder thought we were going to start 3-1, and he thought we were going to embarrass the Colts.
I thought we were going to start 2-1. I thought we were going to beat the brakes off the Colts too. I was on that train, and we should have.
So the Colts offense goes from everybody thinks they're garbage to, oh, it has to be because of them why Daniel Jones is successful now.
Yeah, I don't think now Colts fans would not agree with that because again, I had that Colts creator on, and I've spoken to him before, during, and after when we had the Colts come up week 1. And they always believe that their team has great stability defensively.
Yeah, they're a lot like the Browns, bro, who won yesterday.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually a good way to put it. They got a lot of things on defense.
They are actually a really well put together, good, solid, disciplined team, and that's why they win.
They're disciplined, and what they do well. But they just needed stability at the quarterback position. They needed what Tua's supposed to be,
right?
Their quarterback.
Now, Cap, it might sound like I'm agreeing with the people that say you can win with an inferior quarterback. I've never disagreed. You certainly can. A lot of regular season games and a lot of surprise victories against good teams. But where have the Browns been in the playoffs? Where? They're not going to get there without a quarterback. It doesn't matter how good their team is. Their team has been solid like that since the last time we played them when Tua got taken out of the game for hurting his back.
It's funny because they did what the Browns
been that good the whole time.
the Browns did what the what the Giants did with their quarterback in Baker Mayfield, believing that he was never going to be enough, and the Browns went and shot their shot trying to get Deshaun Watson. Um, that was an ill-advised, ill-calculated move. I still say this: the fall off of Deshaun Watson needs to be studied because I've never seen anything like that in my life. Where a
It can be
guy went
chalked up
from
to.
being
I think the evidence is mounting that, and that doesn't mean that I'm changing my mind about the nature of the lawsuits and all that. No, that was all bullshit, and still is bullshit. But it is turning out that the evidence is showing the guy is kind of just a piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like, and
yes,
doesn't care.
he is a piece.
You know?
Yes, and he doesn't care, and he is a bit of a piece of shit. And yes, but like to me, their miscalculation was fucking. They had Baker Mayfield, who is a guy. Now, is he ever good enough to take you over the edge? I would say he's better than anything they've had.
Well, I mean,
And
he's already won a playoff game, so
he won one with them. He won one. I mean, the guy again, Baker Mayfield, but whatever, right? Like I think
let's
you're
not
picking up what I'm
forget.
putting down.
Let's not forget like 550 burgers to his record.
No, the guy. Listen, just look at it. You want to know what Baker Mayfield is? Go look at the game he just won. I mean, Mike Evans comes off the field. Fucking they need to have this drive to win. He's getting no help from the team, and he just puts the fucking team on his back, and everyone shows up because here's their leader going. As far as I think Baker Mayfield has limitations in his tool belt with arm strength and any of the things you want as far as whatever. But one thing the motherfucker's got in spades is the it factor and getting in the leadership factor. People follow that guy, and he will, because he's out there literally sacrificing life and fucking limb, and he's juiced up, and that's something you can't put a price on, bro. You can't
Yeah,
put a
he's still
if
that
he had
guy.
the arm, if he
He's
was
still
that
that guy
guy.
that went and desecrated the team logo in the middle of the field to the
That's
other team.
right.
You know,
He
he's
ain't
still
never
that guy.
changed. He ain't never changed. If he had the arm of Justin Herbert, that motherfucker would be winning Super Bowls. And that's kind of the shit I'm talking about, right? If he had Justin
He's
Herbert's
actually, you know
cannon,
what? He's actually like Tua, but with all the stuff that we think Tua's missing.
pretty much, because I don't need Tua to have the cannon arm, but whatever. Fuck out of here. Tua's garbage,
Right.
bro. I don't know
But
what
the
the fuck
fact
you're
that,
talking
like,
about.
dude, yeah, but look at the
Tua's
way
garbage.
Baker Mayfield plays. It's always downfield. It's always pushing.
Yep. It's always fuck these guys. They're gonna try to get me. Well, I'm getting you. I
And
love
yes,
it.
it causes extra interceptions. But how's that different than any other Monday in Miami?
I'm saying, right? Oh, this safe football's getting me interceptions. Fuck that. This pussyfooting around's getting me
Like
interceptions.
when they they talk about James Winston 30-30. It's like, first of all, at least 15 of those interceptions were probably tipped.
I know.
And likely, if not tipped, 10 of those could have been touchdowns. So now you're talking about 40-20 or 35-15. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. You're not going to tell me he legit threw 30 interceptions on a
I
trash
know.
team.
But yeah, there's it again. Now everybody's coming to the table on the Tua thing. Now the spotlight has shifted from Mike McDaniel to Tua, where we were trying to put it this whole time. And, it's just par for the course. And the Dolphins go against the Jets this Saturday. They should beat them.
And real quick, I'm going to read this comment from Joe because Joe, despite the issues we've had recently, I still respect Joe. I would like to consider him a friend. But he says Herbert turns into a pumpkin in the playoffs, though. And Joe, and this is why I'm going to say this to you because I know you can take it without insult. and you can take it and actually think of the logic that I'm presenting to you in response to this comment, I totally don't disagree with you at all. He certainly has turned into a pumpkin in the playoffs. But guess what? While we're over here talking about is Tua should we allow Tua to have another chance to prove himself at all? They're over there talking about whether Herbert should have another chance to prove himself to not turn into a pumpkin in the playoffs. You see what you're saying there, bro? You're like, Herbert turns into a pumpkin in the playoffs, though. Well, we're talking about Tua. If we were comparing Justin Herbert to, let's say, Patrick Mahomes or some of the other guys that have won, Jalen Hurts, then I would say great comment. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, Herbert. If we're talking in that discussion as football heads, yeah, he does turn into a pumpkin in the playoffs. I'd like to see if he can fix that. But the thing is, we're talking about him fixing a problem he has in the playoffs.
Yeah. And
That's
also,
a good problem. Well, I don't understand why people don't see that as a good problem.
And again, and over the years
That's
with
the
Tua,
problem I want to have.
I've given Tua over the years excuses for the things that are excusable. And with Herbert, and if I'm being real, Herbert's his start didn't have great coaching. What was his name? I can't remember the coach's name. Anthony something. Over there, the first coach he had when they drafted him. They just had
Wilkes. It was Wilkes, right? Wilkes.
No,
Or no, that was Steve Wilkes. That's who I'm thinking of.
No, it was Anthony something. Anyhow, Anthony
Walker,
Lynn. Thank you, chat. Anthony Lynn. Thank you.
Lynn, right. Thank you. Yep.
Anthony Lynn, not a great coaching staff. Did some things right, but really just didn't have, the wherewithal.
Isn't he with
I think he
just lost Houston or not Houston.
I thought he was with the Rams. I don't know. I could be wrong.
He was with somebody that lost at the very end yesterday. Like on one of the teams that lost on a field goal block. He's their DC. Forget who it was. Shit. Anyway, but yeah.
But okay,
sure,
so
somebody will tell us.
again, that kind of, I get that, and then they had that fucking coaching carousel kind of thing. But I mean, once freaking uh, Harbaugh came there, and I mean, to look at what Herbert possesses, you knew there was weaponry there. Could you get it settled in? Could you then? This is also the reason why I think Dolphin fans wanted to avoid him, because ultimately what Herbert has needed in the NFL is good fucking run game and play action and a defense to boot. And that's what that's exactly what we needed to have and do with Ryan Tannehill.
Look, Cap, I'm going to stand 10 toes. I'm going to be as fair as everybody expects me not to be, because you know how all the haters think the opposite about you. You know what I mean? And I'm going to be fair right now. I think Justin Herbert is as soft as Tua is.
Really?
Yeah. I think his arm is stronger. He's got more physical attributes that allow him to take more chances and do more things off script.
You don't think he's got dog in him?
But I think when it comes to his life personality, dude, he's I don't want to say it. You know what I'm talking about, man.
I know what you're saying. Bro. Yeah.
You know,
I kind of get those.
He'll put bow ties in his hair just as soon as put eye black under his eyes. You know what I mean?
You know what, Culler? I always got those vibes from him too. I agree.
Well,
I agree to
it's
that.
Reported by people, if you follow politics, you kind of already would have known that about him. You know what I mean? But
in that same retrospect,
he's from Cal, dude.
I get that. But in that same
ultimately the West Coast, dude. Played
in that
Oregon,
same retrospect,
for Christ's sake.
I think him and Ryan Tannehill were cut from the same cloth, right? Like Ryan Tannehill, I get it. He's kind of a red state boy. Texas.
No, Justin Herbert is more like Javon Holland.
I get you in those things. but still, and Javon Holland,
By the
as much
way,
of as
did anybody hear Javon Holland's name called last night? I
I mean,
didn't.
yes, Color. Again, but here's the thing, right? Still tough, still strong. And when I get to the quarterback thing, what they both always needed was this stable run game to play off the play action so then they could buy time off the play action and take deep shots down the field and use that arm. And that's what they needed to do. That's what Harbaugh's come in there and done
Well, I'm
and,
glad you brought
and
up
balance their
Harbaugh
football
because,
team.
well, I'm glad you brought up Harbaugh because NFL Lit, being our resident Chargers fan, I certainly ain't trying to be insulting. And I also believe that Harbaugh is precisely the type of coach that would kind of coach that out of him and bring him to maturity. You know what I
Oh yeah.
mean?
Oh yeah, because that's what he does.
So
And he knows how to
we
handle
were
young
talking about a
guys with
maturity issue. I don't want
immaturity
to call these
issues.
guys soft because they're playing football in the NFL. They're not
Yeah.
soft.
It's not about
But it's a
mentality.
maturity thing, is what I mean. Like their maturity level is still soft. They're not hardened by life, is what I mean.
Yeah.
You know, they come into they have this worldview that's like so idealistic that they think that everybody is just as happy as they are to lose. And that's what Tua's problem is. Look at the way he sits on the sideline after he throws an interception. We've all seen it. Some people call it smiling and laughing. No, he's just happy. He's content to just be there in the moment. And I don't think there's anything wrong with a person like
Yeah,
that. I think those people have a gift that I don't have. You know
I
what I
think
mean?
psychologically and like and being of like very healthy and stuff, that's probably a great way to be. But that's not what I need at my quarterback. I need a guy who's hard on himself
Exactly.
and a
Exactly. I
psychopath
want
about
that as
being
a friend.
perfect.
I want that as a friend.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I
Yes.
don't want that as a quarterback in the NFL.
I want that as my offensive coordinator, not my fucking
Yeah.
quarterback.
I don't even mind that as a quarterback in college. Hence the reason we saw great things from him in college.
Yep.
That's precisely what that's for, is college. It's collegiate. It's sophomoric.
Yep. It's youthful. It's young. It's
Yeah.
ignorant. But when you grow up and become
This is a
wise and you're a grown
professional
man,
sports league.
yeah, dude, there's
I've always said it
expectations are
before when
different.
people complain about the refs and the rigging and all that. If that's the way your professional sports league is, that's what makes it professional. You have to work around that too. You have to add that into your strategy calculus.
Yep. It's just like being a pro
How many
fighter.
times are we going to get fucked by the referees in this game?
Feller,
You got to play
I,
around that.
I remember when I was younger and people like, the refs are fucking us, the refs are fucking us, the refs are fucking us. And I would say, it's just like being a boxer or a fucking MMA fighter. Don't leave it in the judge's hands and you ain't got to worry about it.
Exactly. And they fuck everybody. But guess what?
Yes.
The good teams add that to their calculus. They have contingency plans for that.
Yep.
They know it exists. They don't sit there and complain about it. They do
No, they
something
don't.
to avoid it or to get around it. And this is the whole idea behind the idea that great players put themselves in position to have good luck. That's the same thing. When I always bring up the Seattle Legion of Boom thing, how they were on record as saying we would purposely commit PI. And if the refs didn't call it, that set the tone for the evening as to what they were going to get away with. That's putting yourself in position to have good luck. That's using the situation to say, if anybody's going to get fucked by the refs, it's the other team. And so it got to a point where the refs didn't even know what PI was anymore during that era. Remember?
Yeah.
Because the Seahawks would just come out and put it on everybody. And the refs ain't going to stop the game every single play. Eventually, they're just going to stop throwing the flag. I mean, Carla, how are you going to come in here and say, I don't understand football? Do you understand that completely shuts off any conversation with you whatsoever. You understand that, right? Because if I really don't understand football to the point where you hate to say it, then why are you bothering talking to me about it? That's like talking to a doctor about race car driving. If you really think I don't understand football, then your point is going to be lost on me anyway, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, I'm just waiting for Carla's YouTube channel to tell me about football. That's what I'm waiting for.
I know. She has one. She just don't ever use it. I'd like to hear her.
Let us know when.
I'd like to hear her argument towards Crypto's statement. That would be fun to watch. Just
I'd
kidding,
like to.
Crypto.
I'd like to
What's up,
see her
man?
boot scoot and boogie. I'd like to see. I'd like to see Carla do some boot scoot and boogie. Color.
Oh, Joe, he is actually. Crypto and I may differ on whether we think that's a bad thing or not, but I'm gonna back up Crypto on this one too. Objectively, is a Trump supporter. Again, we may disagree, him and I, on whether that's wrong or right, but that's beside the point. And I want to state for the record that it's objectively true that Joe is a Trump voter.
There's plenty of fucking red snowflakes too, Crypto. I'll say it. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they are. There are plenty of red snowflakes.
Yeah. I would say most of them, because snow is made out of ice, they're blue. But I would say I've seen a couple red out there as well.
We all went to the collegiate institutions that are turning everybody into snowflakes. So whether you're right or left, you're still going to be that when you get out. You're going to be a snowflake.
Once they
you're going to have to repeat that, Cap, when you get your signal back. You're going to have to repeat that when you get out of the blender. That's all right. We'll get him back. I don't want to drag this out into politics. That's how friends get lost, but not everybody can have discourse the way Crypto and I do.
How about that, Color? Is that better? Yeah,
that's better.
Let me land on that point real quick.
I wanted you to. Go ahead.
This is the microaggression era of fucking sports. So let's not forget. And just hearing the word microaggression infuriates me. Like, it's just micro. It is almost immeasurable. Okay, so something is so small, and it's aggression, which aggression is such a very big adjective. It's something that's a verb. It's something that happens. To have such the smallest measure of the happening with the word microaggression makes me want to actually get aggressive and punch you in your face.
Right,
that's
right.
kind
it
of
just
the
makes
era
it
that
worse.
we're living in.
But see, that's what they know.
That's
what they know. So the second you act on it, that's when they've got you. They're like, "Look at this crazy lunatic."
No,
you know what I mean?
See, again, and this is what, and I blame this to earlier, which was the tail end of my youth when they started the anti-bullying campaign. And I get it, bullying's bad, kids are hurting themselves, stuff like that. But there is law of nature, people. There is law of nature.
Well, if Flores was guilty of anything, it was he got into that without realizing what they were doing to him. And the second he snapped, they were like, boom, we got you. You're the lunatic. Get out of here. And they smeared him as a lunatic.
And you know what?
Go ahead.
When you're the only sane person around a bunch of crazy people, you're the actual crazy person.
Right.
And that's the sad fact. It's not real.
It's gaslighting.
You're sane.
It's gaslighting. It's literally the definition of gaslighting.
And that's why I like to
turn around and try to gaslight the fans. They literally tried to gaslight Tony Dungy, who was about to vote for Flores as coach of the year.
And that's why I like to think that it's better to punch people in their face when they start acting like this.
Real quick, Joe, it is not just because his wife posted something on Instagram, okay? What I'm trying to say is Tua is more conservative and more to the right than Donald Trump. So inherently, he has to be a Trump voter. unless he just sat out the election. The reason I have made this hypothesis is because his people are very, very conservative. Most of them are devout Christians. Okay. And a lot of who he considers to be his people have been very supportive of a lot of the policies coming from the administration. And if you want any anecdotal evidence of this, I would just point out that the day after the political assassination that recently happened, there was a group of Maori men that did a whole ritual, their ritual dance or whatever they did in honor of Charlie Kirk. So, I mean, the evidence is there that Tua has at least voted for the guy. Maybe he's not MAGA, but I mean, I think it's fair
He's
to think
definitely
Tua
MAGA. He had fucking
is a
seats.
conservative.
He
You
had
know what I
he
mean?
had reserve seats when fucking he was
No,
going
it's
on
not
tour.
Tua. It's not Tua. I'm using it as evidence that the people he comes from are similar. Okay,
Culturally,
that's
yes, I get
that's
you.
a
Yes.
cultural thing, dude. I'm not. That's all I'm
Yeah.
pointing out. Plenty of people don't follow their people's culture. I'm German. I don't necessarily live as a German, so I get that. But
I'm Floridian. I live like that.
I'm just saying, like,
I
I
don't claim
understand
cultures,
why
dog.
people think that Tua is MAGA. That's all I'm saying. The evidence is on their side, is all I'm saying. You could still be right.
I don't give a fuck about none of
We
that.
don't got to make it more than that. You know what I mean? Well, see, now this part right here is where Joe and I can agree. He says, my feeling is Tua doesn't even know what year it is. Yeah. I would definitely, we could probably agree on that for sure.
I think the only thing Tua knows now is there's a fuck ton of money in the bank, and he doesn't know why he's still doing this.
That's probably why we're seeing what we're seeing, dude.
That's
I
what I
told you,
think we're getting.
wasn't it one time I had that take a couple years back that Tua had actually, like, after like the fifth concussion, that Tua had actually checked out but doesn't know how to tell everybody?
Well, he can't tell everybody because there was that massive payday.
Right. Yep.
Now
He hadn't
now
gotten the payday yet at
he's
that
gotten the
point.
payday, but there's stipulations, and he's just stringing it along till the Dolphins are on enough of the hook of the money,
His
and
mission
then
right now, is for his family.
and that's
I do
listen, it's
not
a
want to
great.
suffer another concussion. You can see it in the way he runs. He's starting to do the quick check to his six over and over again, like he would run in college, making
Yeah.
sure that nobody's going to drag him down from the back. Unfortunately, playing scared like that, he's going to forget to look what's in front of him and get nailed in the face by a linebacker if he keeps playing that way.
Mm-hmm.
He's
ass
been
up
taking
outta
his
here,
eyes.
Culler.
His main problem, and there was a tweet that came out. They showed some college highlights, and it was one of the beat writers. It might have been Fioroni's. I don't want to misquote the wrong person, but they had tweeted some college highlights and said, "What do you notice in this footage as opposed to how it is now with Tua?" What's up, Mountie? How you been, man? Good to see you around.
It's good, Manny.
But he said, what do you notice basically in the college film? And everybody, all kinds of stuff. He's running more. Everybody had their typical takes. And I just simply put, his eyes are downfield. Go look at that college footage. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. His eyes are always downfield.
Culler, I agree with that statement because if you look at it, yeah, he's running away from the defenders that are coming. He's scrambling around, but he's always looking downfield to make the play.
Yeah.
Nothing takes precedent over making the play.
So the idea that hip injury really changed him is not a far-fetched thing anymore.
Mentally,
the guy
not
does
just
not
that.
keep his eyes downfield. Look at the way all of his highlights from playing with the Dolphins. And you'll see every time things start falling apart, he takes his eyes away from the field.
And
He's
look,
either looking
right?
down for where he's going to fall and how he's going to fall, or he's checking his 100 times or whatever. But it's anything but eyes downfield looking for somebody to throw to. And that's why we see all these guys wide open getting missed. His mission is look for Tyreek. If I can't find him or he ain't open or I can't throw it to him, look for open space, check my 6, and look at the ground for how I'm going to fall.
It's weak.
The play is over the second he decides he can't throw it to whoever he was going to throw it to, because he takes his eyes off the field. He doesn't keep his eyes downfield. That's it. But for an NFL quarterback, I would even say a college quarterback, that's everything. That is literally everything. And I don't know what to do about it other than move on. It ain't my life. I'm a Dolphin fan that expects my team to win. I mean, how can anybody blame me? Nightwolf, thank you very much for the $5 donation. Says, something I've noticed, is it just me or does Tua mechanically force himself to look left before throwing to his true first read? Oh, yeah. I mean,
No, that's something he does. That's
not
from
every
that 7
play,
on
but
7 shit. That's that
yeah.
7 on 7 shit, Color. That's that fucking flag football 7 on 7 shit. Go watch any of this flag football 7 on 7 that you're watching these kids do now. Every quarterback is doing that. My head's this way, but my eyes are that way type of look off thing. And it works. But I mean, come on, bro. Like at the next level, if you can't, you have to be able to beat people with your arm or with your legs or with
Or with
something.
your eyes. I mean, if your eyes are downfield all the time, you know what I mean? You always can find an outlet. That's why these other guys are throwing these shovel passes and, and all this other stuff. Even Brock Purdy.
Shout out to Mr. Paul.
Yes, thank you
We
very much,
appreciate
Mr.
you,
Paul.
Mr. Paul.
$10 donation
Salute.
says, shout out to Culler and El Capitan speaking on the Tuatanic. Yeah, we're
Damn.
definitely on the Tuatanic.
Yep.
Thank
It's
you.
just good to actually have everybody finally catch up too. I know Mr. Paul day one, but you know,
I mean, it's you can't. Here's the thing. What's the biggest thing we always complain about? East and West. We don't push the ball down the field. Well, how are you supposed to push the ball down the field when your quarterback doesn't have his eyes down the field?
or doesn't possess the arm.
Well, that's, you can still push the ball north and south if your eyes are always down the field. It doesn't always have to be 65 yards. I'm just talking about pushing. Keep pushing down the field. You can't do that if your quarterback's eyes aren't down the field. You just can't. Think about a running back that never has his eyes down the field. I mean, where's he going? We've seen him in the league. These guys that always end up immediately trying to, dance in the hole.
Shout out to Shake Money with his 34 months.
34 months. Jeez, man. He's like, man, his beard must be down to his knees.
That's
Been
it.
a member since day one. Hey, I missed it. Where'd it go?
Oh, my fault. My fault.
It also didn't show up in my regular chat feed.
Yeah.
Been a member since day one. TFTG, doing big things. Thank you, Shake. I mean, it's, I don't know. I just honestly think McDaniel needs to realize that if Stephen Ross is willing to put it out there publicly that he likes him and that he's going to have patience with him, that's literally telling him, dude, do what you got to do, McDaniel. I'll have patience with you if it's the wrong decision. If you move off of Tua and everything goes to shit and Tua goes to another team and balls out, that's okay. I'm patient. I like you. I mean, dude, think about a billionaire saying he likes you to the public.
God, I wish I had a
You're in.
billionaire that liked me.
You're in, man.
Well,
You know?
HB's writing some cool ass code for an app he's working on as a side project. So we might know a billionaire one day, Color. God willing, we can get HB to get enough money to buy this football team, and then
I know,
everyone can
right?
get fucked. We'll be changing this shit for reals.
Now, as far as somebody had mentioned earlier about Herbert's record against playoff, kind of known playoff contenders. Well, aren't the Denver Broncos now considered a known playoff contender? They won last night. They got it done in a divisional matchup.
Color, I'll
Or
be right back.
yesterday. So, yeah, it might not have looked the greatest, but tell that to Bo Nix. I mean, he's going to say, hey, I didn't, I had the ball too. It was a divisional matchup. One like the Colts just destroyed. So, I mean, we'll see if Herbert can get that monkey off his back of not being, kind of turning into a pumpkin in the playoffs? If only we had a quarterback that turned into a pumpkin in the playoffs. Ours turns into an ice cube. I'll still take a pumpkin. Yeah, the Chargers did win. But that's what I'm saying. If somebody says, well, the Broncos are a bad team, they should have won by more points. Well, tell that to Bo Nix. That's what I meant by that, Nightwolf. My record time for hating on Tua, it might be right now. Ooh, we went over 2 hours. That kind of sucks because now we're not going to be able to get clips. Ugh. Oh, well. I got to go anyway. Cap said he was going to come back, but I got to finish up the show because I got things to do. It's 10 o'clock. Thank you for coming and welcoming me back and coming here and listening to me complain about the Miami Dolphins and our quarterback. But there is light at the end of the tunnel because I honestly believe that Stephen Ross has just given Mike McDaniel license to make a change at quarterback. We'll see if he exercises that license. I mean, if you want to win, if you even want to make some semblance of respectability for the rest of this season, and you're really truly not tanking with Tua, then I suspect maybe we won't see a change this week because it's the Jets coming up. So one thing is known is that Tua has had some success against the Jets in recent years. Probably going to give him maybe one more chance at some good propaganda. I don't know why McDaniel would feel the need to do that, but on the other hand, if Tua loses to the Jets, I think it'll be pretty dang easy to make a decision at that point. I mean, you got your owner saying he likes you. He's going to be patient with you. And if your quarterback can't even beat the Jets and you're 0-4, you better make the change so that your owner doesn't stop liking you. And that's where I'll leave that. Everybody have a great evening. Fins are coming back up. We're putting them fins back up. Hey, get a couple wins, bench the quarterback. We got a good running game sometimes. And the defense. I'll say that to end the show. The defense. Can we stop escorting their running backs through the hole? Please? Can we stiffen up a little bit on defense? Just a little bit. I do like the fact that you still gave the offense chances to win, and it is the Buffalo Bills, but damn, it's been all season. I mean, Why don't you shine their shoes on the way through the hole too? I mean, you just, set up a table, put the tablecloth down, bring out the wine, grab them by the arm like you're escorting them to their wedding. It's getting ridiculous. That being said, I honestly believe that a change at quarterback would allow Mike McDaniel, and this is the real take. This is the real logical take. I honestly believe a change at quarterback will allow Mike McDaniel to utilize a lot more of the weapons that are available to the quarterback in his scheme. And if he can't see that when the owner is literally telling him the same thing, and more than half the fan base is telling him the same thing, I don't know how Tua survives the bench if we go down to the Jets, or if it's even in question. One more ugly, obvious turnover, and I think it might be time to ride the pine. That being said, everybody have a great evening. I will be back again this week. I'm starting to feel it again. I had to get this one in the books because it's been a while. But I appreciate everybody coming by. We will certainly. I want to try to get. That's the one I wanted right there. I can't promise tomorrow, but I think Cap might have something going on tomorrow. I'm looking to probably still talk to you guys earlier in the day. Couldn't do it today. I've got to take Mom in the morning. She's getting surgery on her hand, and she's going to be out of commission for like 3 months. So, yeah, I got to juggle all that. But we'll see this thing through. I really like where we're at with our team. I think that despite the fact that we have arguably a lost season at this point, it's not changing. It's not getting, like, our feelings about it aren't going to be any better tomorrow. So now it's time to say, okay, this is in fact rock bottom. And now we get a chance from the beginning with a lot larger an audience to act as influencers as we are, to make sure our team gets built the right way. And McDaniel has all he needs to help him show just what it is that he is, good or bad. Maybe, Kevin Lee, maybe we get 1-3, win a couple games, start feeling ourselves again. Yeah, I mean, I guess. But look, the Chiefs are 1-2. They could lose next week and be 1-3. I'm not going to go there. Y'all have a good evening. Fins up.